Hey guys, it's Heather, and I am here today to do some meditation with you. So, hopefully, your quarantines are going well, and you're feeling productive. I am learning about lighting and creating videos. You might notice there's decent lighting in my video today, so that's pretty exciting. Um, let's see, what shall our theme be for today? Mm, you know what a lot of people have been talking to me about that I think might be kind of a good topic for the chatty portion of our meditation. A lot of people have been talking about kind of productivity or like being lazy and what does that mean. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about applying mindfulness to that and what that kind of looks like after I have a sip of water. So, oh, and I don't know if you guys can see my little cat is here. My other cat that you guys haven't met yet, CB. Um, let's see a face, but oh, now he's moving. He's on the move, guys. So anyways, the idea of kind of being productive or like, oh, I'm learning stuff or I'm making the most of quarantine. There's a lot of that going around. So, oh, I should be doing this. I should be working out. I should be like learning a new language. My house should be clean all the time. So it's really easy for us to have this list of, what we should be getting done. And what's funny is the people that I'm hearing this from, they are working full time. They are, working out usually or doing some kind of exercise or something productive. But there's this idea that it's not enough. And I think one of the really important things that we can learn from this time is the idea of sufficiency. So I read this really cool book called The Soul of Money. I'm actually not totally done with it, but one of the things that the author, Lynn Twist, talks about is sufficiency. And she did fundraising for the Hunger Project. So in that fundraising, she would see people who were totally in poverty, and she would also see people who had tons of money and were able to donate, 50 grand or more. So with both groups, she would see that sometimes there was stress around money, sometimes especially with people who are wealthy. So if you're thinking, oh, I'll just make more money or I'll save more money and then I won't be stressed about it anymore, that will solve everything. Just know that that's not necessarily the case. Because then you have to figure out how to manage it, and then there could be fear that you're going to lose it all and then you won't be okay. But if we can start shifting our mindset to this idea that, maybe it's enough. Maybe there's a need that hasn't been met in this moment, but it will be met. Maybe there can be a sense of trust. So one of the things I've had to practice this around, some of you guys know I have 2 Airbnb units in Chicago. So one of them is a condo that I own. The other one I lease from a landlord, and he's okay with me doing Airbnb. Obviously, coronavirus has not been good for the Airbnb business. And so I've had the opportunity, I am encouraging you guys to view some of our challenges right now as opportunities and as challenges rather than problems, or things that we can't deal with or, negative things. Because the truth is, without those challenges, we actually wouldn't be that happy and we wouldn't be as strong and we wouldn't be as resilient and we wouldn't learn as much. So kind of practicing some gratitude for the challenges, for the opportunities to grow, can be really important. So this was one of my learning opportunities. So having these 2 units, which normally they both do pretty well. The spring season is where it kind of starts becoming profitable after not, no one really comes to Chicago in the winter. And then summer tends to be really great. And so I'm like, great, this is awesome. I'm making plans for what I'm going to do with this money. And then COVID-19 happens and it's like, oh, okay. So I had, a bunch of cancellations for March. Airbnb has a policy that anything COVID-19 related is an extenuating circumstance. My other cat fur baby is making an appearance now, Rascal, the one who likes to meditate with us. And so anyways, it was this opportunity to kind of be like, okay, like, I'm not sure how this is going to work. And I just kind of chose to, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to stress out about it. I'm just going to trust that, like, something is going to arise and it's going to be okay. And very quickly, actually, somebody reached out and she just really liked one of my units and she was thinking she might want to stay for a month. And it actually went up turning into a 3-month renter. And so one of my units is already fully rented for 3 months. I'm not like making any money off of it. In fact, I'm probably losing $100 a month. But, you know, it's kind of like, okay, the mortgage is covered. Like, I can work with that. And then the other unit is not yet, you know. And so I'm getting an opportunity to still practice this idea of sufficiency. That, like, I'm not sure how yet, but I know that there is abundance in the world, and I know that there are so many resources in our country. I know that I'm resourceful, and so just practicing, like, it's gonna be okay. I'm not sure how yet, but it is, and that it's okay in this moment too. I guess that's the other thing I'm hearing from people is, you know, when is this gonna be over? You know, and I've had some of that too. You know, it's like, okay, well, if this is 1 more week, I could do it. Or if there's even 2 or 3 more weeks, okay. But then I need to know that, like, it's going to work, that, you know, we're going to stop the spread of this, and then things will go back to normal. So there's this sense of, like, waiting, you know, like, waiting for it to be okay. And so I really want to encourage you guys today, and literally just by showing up for meditation, you're already doing this. And you guys, I swear to God, he doesn't do this like any other time of the day. I think it's just because I'm sitting on the floor and he probably knows I'm like trying to do something. So anyways, though, this idea of like waiting for something is also an opportunity to practice that idea of sufficiency. It's like, maybe it's okay now. Maybe it's enough now. So we can have that trust for the future, but we can also realize, and Eckhart Tolle says this really wonderfully in his book Power of Now, that, you know, in this moment there are no problems. You know, it's like I'm sitting here in my living room, I'm breathing, I've got my cute ridiculous cats harassing me, I figured out lighting for my videos, you know, so everything's fine, you know. It's like there's food in the fridge, I have people in my life I can call and talk to, I can go outside and take a walk. So I would encourage you guys to do that with whatever challenges are coming up. Practice this idea that there is enough, that there are resources, that there is abundance, and maybe we don't know how it's all going to work out, but we can still trust that it will work out and that it is working out and that we are okay already in this moment without having to go fix something or solve something. So yeah, keep that in mind. So that's kind of our theme for today. Sufficiency, enoughness, you're enough, you're doing enough. Oh, Instagram. We're going to maybe do a shorter meditation today because my battery's running out. I'm wondering if other people have noticed that too. Yeah, batteries are running out quick these days, right? All the FaceTimes and videos that we're doing. So let's get right into the meditation then. I'll probably keep it to about 10 or 15 minutes of meditation since the battery's running low. We'll practice enoughness. We'll decide that will be enough for today, and even with less battery, we'll make it work. All right, so take your posture if you haven't already. So today I'm sitting on the floor on my meditation cushion with my hips elevated above my knees. If you're sitting in a chair, get a firm chair and make sure your hips are above your knees. So you don't want, if you're a taller person or have longer legs, you don't want to be like having your knees all crunched in, because then your low back kind of sticks out, and we want to focus on keeping the spine elongated. So with your elongated spine, your hands can just go flat on, thank you, Brian. Your hands can just go flat on your legs, and you just want to tuck your chin slightly to keep the back of your neck elongated. You can allow your jaw to relax a bit and just let go of any tension there. I do like to do a little twisting or squirming before I start. And then we're just going to kind of feel our breath, and we can kind of practice this idea of sufficiency and enoughness through our breathing and whatever arises, and this idea of resourcefulness and our inner resources as we're doing this practice as well. So go ahead and start feeling your breath. And you guys can choose. I'm going to do eyes open today and just gazing about 6 feet in front of me. So you're welcome to do that. And that kind of cultivates this idea of working with reality and not trying to shut it out. And sometimes we just want to close our eyes and have a little bit of a relaxing break, and that's okay too. Be more with our imagination. So again, just feeling our breath. Not trying to control our breath in any way. We might kind of feel it most in our bellies, in our chest, throat, nostrils. So however and wherever you're feeling your breath is perfect. It is sufficient. And we can bring that sense of trust that things are okay and will be okay, to our body, and trusting that our body will breathe as it needs to. We don't need to change anything. And as our mind wanders, just gradually bringing it back, gently bringing it back to feeling our breath. So a lot of this practice and embracing this idea of sufficiency, that we're enough, is about not beating ourselves up. Gradually bringing your attention back into the room. Adding in any kind of movement to kind of bring yourself back to your everyday life. And just thanking yourself for doing this practice, letting that be enough today, knowing you don't need to do, 5 or 10 more other productive things in order for it to be a good enough day. Just appreciating yourself for showing up, for doing the best you can during this really unique time, and for having some positive intentions. That goes a long way. So thanks for joining me.